Hi, Namaste. Jai Shri Ram. Recently, we witnessed a very disturbing incident in which Sri Ram Charit Manas was burnt by some netas from Samajwadi Party. And as a Hindu, I was hurt, I was outraged, and I thought all Hindus would be. And then I realized no, all Hindus are not on the same page. There are certain sections of Hindu community who are traditional, who believe that Shastras are incontrovertible, that Shastras will prevail no matter what logic you try to apply to it. And they believe that the controversial Doha, Dhol, Gawar, Shudra Pashu Nari, Sakal Tadan Ke Adhikari, actually is there in Sri Ram Charit Manas, and people have taken objection to it and they have burnt the entire Manas. So you cannot contradict what's written, it's there in plain black and white, so to speak. So you cannot falsify it. You cannot twist the Shastras to fit to your logic. So, in short, they are saying if that has caused anger to some section and they have burned the Manas, so be it, accept it. So, my point is, I want to ask the traditional people. See, I have greatest respect for traditional people because I believe tradition is very important. That gives us a base, a foundation. Otherwise, we would be like any other society without any foundation. Having said that, my point is, are Shastras really incontrovertible? Are they to be taken at their face value? Would you not look at who uttered it and why? Would you take it out of context and develop a hatred towards an entire epic and burn it? Is it justified? That's my debatable point. That's the point I want to debate on. Why I'm saying this is let's take this premise that whatever is written in Shastra is final. It cannot be falsified, it cannot be debated on. Okay, let's take it as a premise. Now tell me, there is an incident in Ramayana that Sri Ram goes to the forest with Vishwamitra Muni, and there he comes across Tataka, and Sri Ram refuses to raise his weapons against her. And Vishwamitra is asking him why. So he says, Shastras tell me I cannot raise hand on a woman. I'm not going to do it. So Vishwamitra says, I understand. But here what you're saying, seeing as woman is actually evil. If you don't end her now, she will cause harm to many, many people. So you have to look at what it really is and end it. So pick up your arms and fight. And Sri Ram follows his guru's advice and he kills Tataka. So if Shastra was so incontrovertible, how come Vishwamitra advised Sri Ram to override it and do what is needed? Then there is also one more incident of a great devotee of Sri Ram, Shabri Mata. Sri Ram accepts Jhute Bear from Shabri, and Shabri we all know is a Nari and a Shudra on top of it. If Shastras were so incontrovertible, why time and again Sri Rama sees what is underlying and does not take the lines as it is? In his mind, Sri Rama thinks that Ravana may be a Brahman, but he needs to be killed because he is evil, because he is Ahankari. So when Ravana is a better Brahmin than any Brahmin you can find in this date and age. But still, Sri Rama doesn't go by what is on the outside. He sees what is inside and he sees that this is evil and this has to be ended. Time and again in Ramayana, you see several occasions in which Sri Rama takes the help even of apes, of defeated kings like Sugriv, of birds like Jatayu, of Vibhishana. He doesn't see the status of the person he is dealing with. He sees what's inside. Based on that thing, he decides whether that person will be on his side or not. So, in all these actions, I believe he is overriding the Shastras. You should, I have heard of many stories and very beautiful stories. One such story I'll relate to you. If you ever visit Karnataka, there is a temple in Udupi dedicated to Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna, you see, was raised by Yashoda Maya. So Devki Maya never had the chance of seeing Sri Krishna as a baby to enjoy his tantrums and pranks. So she tells this to Sri Krishna, hey, I missed all your childhood years. I wish I could see you in that form. And Sri Krishna quickly appears in front of her in his baby form and shows her what and all pranks he engaged in as a baby, as a child. And in one such prank, he is running away with a skimming stick and rope. And Devaki Maya calls him to stop. And this deity, in Udupi Sri Krishna temple is in that form. It's holding a rope in one hand and the skimming stick in another. And he's standing there, Krishna. That is the Sri Krishna of Udupi. In Udupi temple, low caste people were not allowed. The people who prohibited the entries of certain class of people were following Shastras. Were they not? They are justified because Shastras say so and they followed the Shastras to the T. So they are not to be blamed. Right? Now, one fine day, Krishna decides that he wants to override the Shastra. I'll tell you why he does it and how he does it. See, there is one great devotee of Krishna. His name is Kanakadasaru and he is born in a low class family. So Kanakadasaru is not allowed into the temple, obviously. So he sees through the window and meditates on Krishna's form. And his devotion is so simple and so pure that Krishna one fine morning decides he doesn't want to look at the main door. He doesn't want to look at the mundane people coming in and going out. He wants to look at the window. So he turns himself and is facing the window now, so that his beloved devotee Kanakdasa can see him and he can gaze upon his beloved devotee. Even till this date, if you want to go and take darshana of Udupi Sri Krishna, you have to take the darshana from the window. He refuses to turn towards the door, towards the main entrance. No matter which varna, which kula, which jati you have to stand by the window. And every time you stand there, you are reminded that God looks at the substance and not the status. You have to take the Shastras. You must be truthful to your Shastras. But I don't believe Shastras are incontrovertible. Or else why would God do this? Similar story is there of Sri Ranganatha Swami. There was a very big devotee of Sri Ranganatha Swami by the name Sri Lokasaranga. It was his daily ritual to take a dip in Kaveri river and then go to Sri Rangam temple to see his beloved God, Ranganatha Swami. And while doing so, he would not talk to anyone. He would observe Maun Vrata. Then there was one more devotee of Sri Ranganatha Swami, but he was born in a low caste, Banar community. And his name is Tirupa Swami. He is standing on the banks of Kaveri and meditating on Sri Ranganatha Swami. So one fine morning, Sri Lokasaranga goes and he wants to take dip in the Kaveri river, but he sees that this man from low caste community is blocking his way. So he gestures to him, move. Sri Tirupaswamy of Banar community is unaware of his surrounding. He is engrossed in his meditation. So Sri Lokasaranga gets very angry. He throws a stone at Tirupaswamy, and Tirupa gets hurt on the forehead, and his forehead starts bleeding. Then he is woken up from the trance and he realizes, oh, I'm blocking the way of Sri Lokasaranga. So he humbly says to him, I'm sorry, I did not realize. Then Lokasaranga takes a dip in Kaveri and goes to Ranganatha Swami temple. And what does he find there? Ranganatha Swami is bleeding profusely from his forehead. And Sri Lokasaranga is such a big devotee that he's hurt, he's restless, he can't understand the reason. He can't eat, he can't swallow even a drop of water, he can't sleep. At some point of time at night, he falls asleep. And Ranganatha Swami comes in his dreams and says, how could you? Why would you hit my beloved devotee on the head? You hurt me. And then Sri Lokasaranga realizes, oh God, yes, I did. Now what do I do? Krishna, what do I do to atone my sins? So Ranganatha Swami tells, bring him on your shoulders to the temple to see me. Lokasaranga does that. How do you say then that Shastras are incontrovertible? God himself is rejecting it. He is asking you to look at the spirit and ignore the words. There is one more popular story. We put Bilva Patra on Shiva and water on Shiva. There was once a hunter. I'm forgetting his name now. But he went, hunting for an animal so that he can put food on table for his family, so to speak. And then he finds a prey and he's about to kill the prey when the prey pleads to him, please let me go. And the hunter is so kind. He says, okay, fine, go. And he thinks, okay, fine, I'll find another prey. Afternoon passes, evening passes, night passes. He's unable to see anything in the darkness. So dark it is. Finally at night he is all, hurt and disappointed. He says, oh God, my family has to go without food even today. So he doesn't want to become a prey for any other wild animal. So he climbs up on a tree and sits there. And tears are rolling down his eyes. He is unaware of the fact that there is a Shivalinga down under the tree. His tears are falling over the Shivalinga. Absent-mindedly, he is plucking the leaves of the tree and putting it on the ground. At least that's what he thinks. But they are falling on Shiva. So impressed is Shiva and Parvati by this simple offering and a pure heart that they give him darshan in that wilderness. And after that he experiences such joy, such ecstasy that he forgets all his woes and becomes a great devotee of Shiva. If Shastras were so incontrovertible, who can explain all of this and many of these? So while I believe that Shastras have their own importance, I would say, after all, what's the end aim of Shastra or Vedas or whatever we study? To understand the Supreme, right? Also to understand what's our role in this world and how we can break free from the cycle of birth and death, so to speak, right? If the deity who, or the supreme intelligence who is at the center of Shastras is overriding Shastras and trying to tell you some underlying principle, how can you ignore that? Won't it defeat your purpose? Just think about it. Maybe I'm wrong because I've never read Ramayana, the original text. I don't know Sanskrit. I want to learn, but I feel it's too difficult to learn new languages after a certain age. But I want answers for these. I'm a seeker. I want to understand how come Shastras are incontrovertible if you say, God overrides it and tries to explain to you something deeper. So you cannot take one doha or one couplet out of context and analyze it and forget who said it, to whom it was said, in what context it was said, and you just, nag about that one couplet, and you spread animosity or hatred or poison about the entire text dedicated to such a great king and God, Sri Ram, and you burn it, yeah, you burn it. I don't think you can do that. It's like misconduct, I would say. It's an abhorrent behavior. It's completely unacceptable. At least I don't approve of it. And but I'm ready to correction. I'm here to understand. I'm here to discuss, to debate, because ultimately my aim is to reach the truth. Just like many of us Sanatanis feel, no, we want to know the truth. So I'm one of them. So that was my 2 cents about this entire episode and the take of traditional people. And that's it. I'll end my video. Jai Shri Ram.